yeah, I'm excited about this one. Oh god, it's O-Rod. Hello everybody. Album review time. Olivia Rodrigo, Guts. Before we get really started, like and subscribe, you dingus. Why do I even have to remind you? You guys it should just happen automatically, because I'm just that enjoyable. Sophomore full-length album from Murrieta, California singer-songwriter, Disney kid turned worldwide pop phenomenon, Olivia Rodrigo. Following up her record-shattering debut, Sour, there were big shoes to fill on the hit side of things. I mean, how do you follow up off the back of Driver's License and Good For You? Well, if the sophomore slump is an omen that tends to plague a majority of new upstarts in the music industry, Olivia has clearly been vaccinated against the virus. Because Guts is an improvement on just about every front from her previous album. Her songwriting feels more confident and mature. The range of influences she's pulling from are wider and far more energizing to her sound. Take the opening cut, All American Bitch, which begins with a guitar line that is heavily reminiscent of What's My Age Again by Blink-182, a gargantuan chorus packed with searing guitars and righteous spirit. There's a very solid mix of Blue Album era Weezer and early Paramore permeating this cut. The song seems to be very sardonically punching back at the view that women, especially in the music industry, are expected to just put up with the insane double standards that are leveled at them. Even down to how they look when they cry. The fuck? Bad idea, right? Was great as a single, just as good in the context of this album. The vibrant power pop style of this song totally sounds like something that the band Beach Bunny could pull off. I've seen some people pull a Wet Leg comparison too, which I can kind of see the resemblance, especially with the very lackadaisical and cheeky verses all over this thing. Also, the Tom Morello-esque guitar solo towards the back end is incredible. Further proof of the sonic development of Olivia Rodrigo's sound. Lyrically, she's befriending her ex, insisting they're just friends. They're not, though. Vampire employs a bloodsucker metaphor to represent this person who has feasted on Olivia's life force, fed off of her insecurities, her vulnerabilities, and then just left her to reel in the aftermath. The spotlit performance on this one gives the subject matter the drama that it deserves, and creates a pacing and a sense of momentum that makes each emotional twist and turn feel that much more gratifying. Real Swiftian energy too, especially when the drums kick in and the track really gets rolling. LACY is full of dark undertones. Finger-picked acoustic guitar and hushed vocals set the stage for a ballad about being in the throes of jealousy and envy over someone or something that you want. There's almost a bit of a stalker angle being taken with the narrator, who begins to obsess over this LACY character. A super enchanting climax on this thing, soaring vocal harmonies take this song to another dimension entirely, like I've sniffed the angel dust being referred to in the line prior to this moment. There's a line about angel dust, and I've sniffed it. The hits keep coming. Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl channels more of that 90s alt-rock and power pop as an angsty canvas for being socially awkward. It's a fairly light-hearted self-deprecation when all's said and done, although I do have to worry about the girl a little bit. Broken Glass is no joke, man. Logical takes things in a much more straightforward direction. Piano ballad through and through. I think this is one of those instances where I am more thrilled by the vocal performance and lyricism than I am the instrumental composition, because goddamn, lyrically this song is outstanding. The guilt in not seeing the red flag sooner, the resentment for all the lies that were spun to look like truths. It's a really powerful breakdown of the flurry of emotions that arrive post-toxic relationship. I'm the same way with the song The Grudge. The gloomy simple piano and pensive pacing are all well and good, but to be honest, the moments that are meant to hit like a ton of bricks end up being more like a feather pillow to the face. The tune is solid though. It just isn't complemented by the very drab crescendo that this song builds towards. The second half of this album is pretty solid overall though. Get Him Back is a rowdy little piece of anthemic pop rock. Stylistically, it's pulling heavily from a Demi Lovato or a Jessie J, except not as sanitized and corporate sounding. The sing-along chorus also reminds me just slightly of Joan Jett? Maybe in I Love Rock and Roll or something like that. The double entendre of Get Him Back makes for a pretty entertaining back and forth. She wants revenge, but she also wants to have him in her life again. Girl's conflicted. This thing is so catchy and fun. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love is Embarrassing is short but sweet with a real Avril Lavigne tinge on the influence side of things. Driving beats and bass, watery guitars, a lovesick earworm chorus. It all packs a punch, and the bitter lyrics about stressing over and giving up your life for someone who is just not beneficial to you are just the cherry on top. Banger! Pretty Isn't Pretty is all sorts of nostalgic. The mid-paced, dreamy indie pop is giving off some serious Always vibes. The tune specifically reminds me of their song Dreams Tonight off of Anti-Socialites. Great album, check it out. The drenched shoegazy guitars and blissful harmonies on the chorus are giving off a real soccer mummy vibe too. This really just feels like the end credits of a tearjerker coming-of-age film from the early 2000s. The impossible beauty standards this song's lyrics refer to go a long way to emphasize this angsty melancholy very fittingly. The closer, Teenage Dream, starts off as a pretty unassuming little ballad, lamenting on her fears of having already peaked at this early stage of her life. Some very regal strings are introduced, as well as some solid vocal harmonies that lead us into the song's grand finale. A cacophonous mix of clipping drums and heavily distorted bass that are somewhat reminiscent of Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever. While I do kind of wish that this was maybe a little bit more fleshed out, I do think it puts a gigantic full stop on a highly commendable sophomore album. Oh man, Olivia kind of blew my expectations out of the water. I knew she had a better project than Sour in her, and I think this is that potential being totally realized. The production is more visceral, the tunes are consistently more exciting and stirring. Her writing has improved in leaps and bounds from her previous effort. Sure, I'm not entirely crazy about every song here. I thought Making the Bed was slightly forgettable as a whole piece, but even still, Rodrigo's lyricism and performance never really falters, even when the accompanying music is perhaps just punching under its weight a little bit. I hope she continues on this trajectory in the years to come, because this album has me genuinely excited for her career and where she takes it. I'm giving this thing an 8.8 out of 10. Lovely! Go away! What did you think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? All the stuff I said at the beginning, liking and subscribing and commenting, that all applies here too. I'm gonna say it again. My fellow Americans, Dan Will Review's subscriber count is looking dangerously low. We need to get those numbers up. Stack those chips, as the kids would say. I'm one of the greatest YouTubers of all time. I got the best. Rudy Giuliani told me I could do anything, so I became a YouTuber, and I think I'm the best. Time to put it all together. Recommend stuff. I'll try and get around to it. It's alright. Going to turn you all off now. I've turned you on, and now I have to turn you off again. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's not a word, you cunt. Fuck it! Do it live!